Okay, so yesterday we started the Docker class introduction as well as some portion we have discussed. So regarding how we are doing how we are working with the containerization tools and how we are doing the deployment using the containerization tools. So mostly in the Docker we are working with the containers. So unlike with the other tools, so in the Docker we are working with the containers. So for that, I have given some commands to you yesterday. Okay. So mostly we are working with those commands. The very basic command is first first after installation of Docker, so we are checking the version. Okay. So these three will give the complete detailed information. It is just giving the version. It is giving the complete information. So this is also give the complete information. Okay. So Docker search Ubuntu. So this will give the uh, searching of the Ubuntu image, and this command will pull the image. Okay, so not only this 30,000, so we can also take any up to 32,000. So we have the commands range is from. So it is normal how we are working with the normal how the security groups will allow, right? So up to 1024. Okay, up to 1024 we have the some system reserved ports are there. So apart from that, we can take any of the port for the container purpose. That is, so we are representing the port like this. So what is the meaning of representation of port like this? Okay, so if you write the port like this, -p, for example, I'm writing the port as 8099:80. So here the first port, this is called as target port. The first port is called as target port, and second port 80 is called as service port. Okay, so here the first port, whatever is given, the number 8099, that is called as target port. So 80 is called as service port. So what is the meaning of target port? What is the meaning of service port? Service port means the application running on which port. Okay, it is the application running. We know that. So Apache to HTTPD Nginx. So all are running in the port 880, right? All the three services are running on the port 80. So if you take the any image, Ubuntu image, so in that image, if you want to work with this Apache 2 or Nginx, then you must select that service port as 80. Understood? For example, if you are working with the Tomcat in the same Ubuntu image, if you want to work with the Tomcat, then the service port must be 8080. Okay, if you are working with the Tomcat, then the service port will be 8080. Then in such case, you need to select the port like this. Any number that is target port, any port you can give, followed by this service port. So here 9000 is called as target port. 9000 is called as target port. 8080 is called as service port. That means Tomcat is working on the default service and default port 8080. Tomcat is a service that is working on the default port 8080. And Apache, Nginx and HTTP, these services which are running on the port 80. That's why we are specifying with 80. And coming to the target port, so what is the meaning of target port? Means you are deploying one application, right? Say hi.html or welcome.html or course.var. You are deploying some applications. So if you want to access those applications on a particular port, then you need to specify the port like this. Okay. So this is the service port. We can call this as service running port. This is the port on which application is running. On which application is running. Understood the difference between the target port and service port. Okay, in this way we are specifying the port. So this is very, very important. Okay, so today once again I will show that part what I'm taking the terminal. So starting with Docker. First I'm checking the images which are available. So yesterday we had done with the welcome 1.0, welcome 2.0, and also I have given tag also. So once again I'll show that part. I'm just removing the all existing images. The command to remove the images is Docker RMI. RMI stands for remove images. So hyphen F means forcefully. We are removing the images forcefully. So instead of taking the name of the repo, okay, name of the image, better to take the image ID. So it will delete the complete information of the image. So image is deleted. Okay. So now if you see the images again, so there are no images with respect to welcome. That is were created. So these three will removed now. Okay, so all these are default. Those are come with the Docker as well as Kubernetes. Okay, now it's a fresh one. Now I want to start. If you want to see the containers, okay, the running containers. So the command is Docker PS. Docker PS. It is giving the information about the running container. So Docker PS. So currently there are no containers which are running. So here I'm taking the Ubuntu as a base image. Okay, I have already pulled the Ubuntu base image. Now I want to work in the Ubuntu image. So for that, I want to log in, or I want to move into the image Ubuntu. For that, the command is docker run -it, okay, -p. So here you can give any port. I'm giving the port as 10,000. So, and the service port is 80 because I want to install Apache 2 in that. So that's why I'm taking the 80 as service port. Okay, here followed by what is the image name? So base image is Ubuntu only. So you need to give the Ubuntu image name. So if you understand the command, it is very easy and simple to remember. So docker run is the command. Docker run -it. Okay, -it means iterative mode. So whenever you write -it, then you are moving to the container. If you mention ITT, it is detached mode. The command will execute, but you are not moving to the container. So -it -p. So 10,000:80 Ubuntu. Now currently you are in the Ubuntu box. Now first you need to update the repo. So app update, because without update Apache 2 service is not available. So update the service. Update the repo. Okay. So repo is updated. Now you can install the service app install Apache. So it's asking for yes or no. Just do yes. So this is a command to log in into the container, and this is the command which execute, but it is the detached mode. So you are not moving to the container. That means if you want to work with any new port, if you want to run the application with new port, then you can use this command without moving to the container. Okay, so docker run, that is a command, so which is nothing but it will do the two things. It will search as well as pull. Okay, so if you want to come out of the container, you need to use control PQ. So don't type exit. So if you type exit, the content will be lost. So that's why don't create exit. So just use Control P to come out of the container. Okay, so Docker PS is a command to see the running containers. So PS-A, it is used to see both running as well as stopped containers. -A means all. So Docker images is used to see list of all the images. If you want to remove the image, the command is RMI, okay, -force and followed by the image ID. Give the image ID or image name, whatever it may be, it will work. Okay, so similarly, if you want to stop the container, okay, sometimes if you remove the image, it is not worked because that image is working with some assigned to some container. The container is running. So for that, first you need to stop the container. So for that, the command is docker stop. So CAD. CAD means container ID. So if you do this, container will be stopped. So after that, so docker kill is the command used to kill the containers. If you want to start the container before, if you don't want to kill, but I want to start the container, the command is CAD. Start is the command. Okay. So after doing the, after killing the container, then you can remove the images. Okay. So next after that, so docker attach is a command that is used, that is also used to move into the container, followed by the container ID. Okay. So to push the images, this is a separate concept. So how to push the image into the Docker Hub. So that is already explained in the last class. Okay, for that you need to create the logins, the Docker Hub, and you can give the same Docker login. Can give the credentials, username and password. Okay, then if you see, you can see the login succeeded message. Then only you can able to push the images. So the command to push the images is Docker push is the command. So first, before pushing the images, you need to add the tag with this command. Okay, so with this command, you need to push the tag. So then only you can push the images. So how to push the images? You need to push the images with this command. So docker push followed by the username, Docker Hub username, followed by the image and version. So with this command, you can push the image. Similarly, you can, if you want to pull the image, so the same, okay, so docker pull. You can use the same command, docker pull, and followed by this one. So likewise, we can work with the docker commands. Okay, and anything else? How to create the image? I think that, okay. Here I can. So to create the image, the command is docker commit. Docker commit. Okay, followed by the container ID and the new image name. New image name. So this is the command you need to use to create the new image. To create new image. Okay, so here it is asking for the location. Okay, currently we are belong to the Asia, so you can select any region, not only Asia. It's not a problem. So on which time zone? So it is 44. Kolkata time zone you are selecting. So Apache 2, it is asking for the time zone. Yes, so Apache 2 is installed. So I want to install one more thing. So apt install VIM because VI editor is required. Meanwhile, I'll log in into the AWS console. So here also I want to show how to work with the Docker. The same procedure, whatever the steps you are followed in the Windows machine, the same steps you are following in the Linux machine also. Okay. Now Apache 2 is installed. If you see the service, service Apache to start. So service is started. Now move into the deployment folder. Now here you can create a file, okay, with the name say welcome.html. Okay, so here you can give any name. Okay, HTML board basic color is equal to say pink. Here you can write any text. Okay, welcome to Docker classes. Give any text, not a problem. H1. Now closing the body, closing the HTML tag. I'll just save this. Now deployment is done. So I have deployed the welcome.html. Now I'm just come out of the this container. So for that, control PQ. So now see, I'm in the Windows machine again. Okay, currently I have worked in the Ubuntu box. I now come out of that box and I'm in the Windows machine. So currently you have created, okay, one container. Okay, that is Ubuntu container. So to see the running containers, the command is docker ps. Okay, so here this container you are created and up to 9 minutes ago. Okay, so the container is running on the 10,000 port. Okay, with service port as 80. If you want to work, if you want to check the service is working or not, so just take the local host here. So on the port number, so 10,000. So click on the enter. So see Apache 2 is working. And if you want to see the context part, so that is welcome.html. So see, this is also working. Now I want to make this entire image. Okay, so I've taken one Ubuntu machine, empty Ubuntu box. In that Ubuntu box, I have installed Apache 2 and deployed one application. So this entire combination, I want to make one more image. Okay, this entire combination, I want to make one more image. So for that, the command is, so already I have given in the notepad the command to create the new image. Okay, so till now we have done up to this part. Now, so to create a new image, the command is, so docker commit, so followed with the container ID, new image name. Here we have the container ID is there. This is a container, it is having the ID. Okay, it's image name Ubuntu. So command is bash command. So create 9 minutes ago. So likewise, you can see the complete information about that container. Okay, so here docker commit. Okay, so container ID, at least you need to give 4 numbers starting 4 numbers is must. Okay, followed by new image, whatever the image you want to give. I want to create the image with the name welcome.1.0. Click on enter. Welcome is the image name and with the version 1.0. Therefore, new image is created. Now, if you check the images, so what is the command? Docker images is the command to see the list of images. Now see, a new image is created, welcome, with the version 1.0 with the image ID, this one, 10 seconds ago. The size is 273 MB. Okay. Now, if you want to work, you can work with this image. So no need to go into the Ubuntu box again. You can work with this new image, welcome 1.0. Now I want to work this image. So I want to run this image in new port. Other than 10,000, I want to run the same image in another port. So for that, the command is, so docker run -it. You can give itd also, it's not a problem. But if you give the itd, you are not able to log into the container. But anyway, you need to move into the container because the service is not started in the new container. Therefore, -it, you need to pass the port. So let us take 10,001, then 10,011. You can take any number. It's not a problem. So followed by the service port and give the image name. What is the image name? Welcome:1.0. So you are running the same image in different port. Okay, you are running the same image in different port. For this, the command is docker run -it-p, this one. Why I am writing -it? You can also write -itd. But you are not able to move into the container. So I'll show that part also. So ITD. So click on enter. So new container is created now, but you are not in the container. Ubuntu container, you are not moving the Ubuntu container. So if you want to try to access the application with 10,001 port, the application is not running. 10,011. The application is not running. Why? Because the service is not running in this port. Okay, in this port the service is not running. Therefore, you need to move into the container again, and again you need to start the service. So for that, so the command is docker attach. Okay, docker attach is the command. So at least give 4 numbers of the container ID. So click on enter. Now you are in the again that container. Now here, if you see the status of Apache 2 status, it is not running. So if we start the service again, so service is started. Now if you check this one, it is working. Likewise, you can work with the this Ubuntu machine. That's the Docker basics. Understood? Any doubts up to this part? Fine. Okay. How to push the same image? For example, currently what are the images are available? So I have the welcome 1.0 image is available. I want to push this image into the repository. Therefore, for that, first I need to add the tag. So Docker tag. So first give the image name welcome colon 1.0 followed by the my Docker Hub user ID followed by image name. What is giving the tag means? Tag means adding the username of Docker Hub. Appending the username of Docker Hub to the image is called tag. So just click on enter. Now, if you see the list of images again, you will see one more image with the tag. So this is the image with the tag is there. You need to give proper name. That's why, so better to give a short names. Don't take these lengthy names. Okay, simple names you can give. Okay, it is very easy to work. If you give long names, again spelling mistakes will be there. So some errors will be there. Okay, so anyway, now I want to push the image. For that, first of all, I want to do login. So if existing any login is there, so just I'm doing the logout. So I'm logging out. Now again, I want to login. So Docker login. Here I need to give my username for a Docker Hub and a password. So meanwhile, we'll move into the Linux machine. So create a new instance. I'm taking RHL box here. T2 micro filter is sufficient. Add tags, the name, the Docker. Security groups, you can take a new security, no problem, or existing one also fine. Anything is cool. So next launch. So in my local, I have, so let us create new pair better. Okay. So here I'm taking Docker key. Launch instance. Now, meanwhile, I'll convert this PPK, PEM into PPK. Okay, conversion is done. Now, login is succeeded here. Now I'm pushing the image into the repo. So Docker push So what is the image name? You need to give the image name. This is the image name you need to take, followed by the tag also. Now it is moving into the remote repository, that is my Docker Hub repository. Okay, this will take some time. So meanwhile, we will work with the Linux machine. The same process, how we are working with the Windows machine, in the same way you are working with the Linux machine. There is no difference. Still it is loading. So it is 200 size. Okay. Now the 200 MB is pushing into the repository. Okay. I think Docker push, it is pushing the image, right? That's why it is slow. It is taking most of the memory. Let me do one thing. I'll just stop this session. I can push this later because it is taking the memory, everything. Okay. Consuming internet. That's why it is somewhat slow. Your Linux machine is slow because of internet. Okay, let me stop here. Okay, now we can work with the Linux machine. First, you need to do, you need to search for the Docker is available or not in the repo. If you try to install Docker, sudo yum install Docker directly. See whether it is available or not. I'm using the size somewhat. Okay, Docker is available. See here, the Docker name in the Ubuntu box is, in the Linux machine is podman-docker. Okay, the name of the Docker in the Linux machine is podman-docker. Similarly, if you take the Ubuntu box, the name is different. It will be docker-io. Okay, so if you take the Ubuntu box, let me show that part also. Take the Ubuntu machine. So this is very similar how we are running currently in our local. We have the Windows machine is right. So in that Windows machine, on the Windows machine, we are running the Ubuntu box. Now on the Linux machine, we are running the Ubuntu box. Same thing. Why we are running only Ubuntu? Yesterday I have given the explanation for why we are using the only Ubuntu box. We can also use CentOS, we can also use Linux, but they are not free. Docker Ubuntu, and use the name Docker Ubuntu box. You can use the same security port 3, launch, take the existing Docker key. Okay, meanwhile it is running. Okay, here currently we are in the Docker Linux, right? Right. Okay, so Docker is installed. If you check the version, double hyphen version. So the version is podman version is 3.1. Now if you see the complete version, Docker version, so it is giving the OS version like this. The podman version, operating system is Linux. Okay. Now here, if you take the Docker info, this will complete information about the Docker host. So see, you can see the number of CPUs. We have only one CPU right now. Okay. Now the same commands you can work here also. Okay. The first command. So here, if you want to pull the image, okay, if you want to pull the image, so currently if you check the images, Docker images, so currently there are no images in this Linux machine. Now you can pull the images by using, first you can search the image by using the search Ubuntu. It will list out the Ubuntu images. Okay, so in the Ubuntu box, the name of the Docker is docker.io. You can install with the docker.io. Okay, so the name of the image is Ubuntu. So you can install this Ubuntu. So for this, you need to do the command docker pull. Docker pull Ubuntu. Click on enter. Now the image is pulled. Now if you see that Docker images, you can see one image with the name Ubuntu. Okay. Now you can work with this image. Whatever the task I have did, the same task you can perform here also. Now just move into the Ubuntu container. So for this Ubuntu image. So for that the command is so docker run -it, okay, -p. The port is here. So 10,000 port. That is the same port you can take. I want to install Apache 2. That's why I'm taking 80. And the followed by the image Ubuntu. You can see currently I'm in the Ubuntu box. Now here first update the repo Apache 2, sorry, apt update. So it is updating the repository. Then only we can able to see the Apache 2 service. apt service. Okay, sorry, apt install. I want to install Apache 2 as well as wget as well as vim. You can install a number of packages with a single command. So all the tools will be installed. Apache 2, wget, and vim. So it is asking for the zone. I can take 6 Asia zone, and Kolkata is 44. While installing the Apache 2, it is asking for time zone. Remember this. Now all the tools will be installed. Now if you check the service Apache 2 status, it is not running. Okay, so start the service. So now you can check the status. So Apache 2 is running. Now just move into the /var www html. Here you can create one file with the name hi.html. Here you can write the script. Body bg color is equal to say green. H1. Here, so this is green color web page. You can write any one, that's not a problem. H1. So just close the body and close the HTML. That's it. Just save this. Now I have deployed this one. Service is also starting, right? So service Apache 2 status is running. Now just come out of the container. Now try to access this application. So this application is running on the port 10,000, right? Okay. So our service is starting at 10,000. So let us try whether now in our Windows machine, we are trying to access the application with localhost. Okay, with the name localhost, we are accessing the application localhost followed by IP, followed by port, followed by context path. Now for Linux machine, we have the IP is there, right? Okay, for this machine, we have the IP is there. So therefore, you need to take IP. So here you need to give the IP. So give the IP. So followed by what is the port? It is 10,000 port. So click on the enter. First Apache 2 service should run, but here service is not running. Anybody tell me the reason? So these are the scenarios which are asking in the exams. If you are silent here, so in the interviews also will be silent. So I have given the container port as 10,000. I'm accessing the with IP followed by the port, but service is not running. Why?
We need to
Port
update
number
it.
should get in security. No?
Yes, you need to give the port number in the security groups. That is the first reason. In the interviews, they won't ask the direct questions. Okay, so they'll ask the scenarios. Mostly they will ask the scenarios. You are in a position to answer the scenarios. So whatever I told in the classes, those will be sufficient. So here you can give the scenario. Sorry, you can give the 10,000 port. So give any access, and for the sake of simplicity, just give HTTP also 80 because Apache 2 is running on the port 80. So save rules. Now try to access the URL. So see, now you are able to access the Ubuntu main service. Now give the context path. So what is the context path you have given? Hi.html, isn't it? The name, yeah, hi.html. So give hi.html. See, you are able to access the application. Understood? The same procedure. How we are working with the Docker in our Windows machine, the same way you can work with the Linux machine also. Okay, right. So this is the one way of working with the images. How we are creating the images, how we are moving in the container like this. But in the real time, mostly they are using the Docker files. Okay, mostly real time they are using the Docker files. So no need to perform all these steps. Okay, so what are the steps you are doing? You are first pulling the Ubuntu image, and then you are moving into the Ubuntu box, and then you are installing the Apache 2 service, and then you are starting the service, and you are deploying the application. For each and every task, you are doing some specific task, right? Okay, so for that, no need to execute so many commands, okay, in the real time. So for that, they are using the Docker files in the real time. If you prepare one Docker file, then that file will be suitable for n number of applications. Okay, so without moving into the container, we can deploy the application. Without moving into the application, we can deploy the application. Okay, so how we can write the Docker file? It is very, very simple. It is combination of very few lines. Okay, I'll show that part. So this is the Docker file, sample Docker file. So here, if you see these lines, it's very, very simple lines to understand. First line, it starts with from. Okay, the first line, the first command, okay, it is starting from, it is from Ubuntu. That is, the meaning is, whatever the task, what is the first task performed in the Windows machine or Linux machine, you are pulling the image, right? You are pulling the image of Ubuntu. So the same task here, you are given in the form of command like this, from Ubuntu. So then this command will pull the Ubuntu image. Okay, this command will pull the Ubuntu image. And next, maintainer. Okay, so this is a maintainer who is maintaining this Ubuntu image. All this stuff who can maintain. You can give the name followed by the email also. Sometimes email also will work without giving the name. Email also will work. It's not a problem. So maintainer means who is the owner of this application for that. Next, time zone. Okay, so I think you have seen while installing the Apache 2, right? While installing the Apache 2, it is asking for a time zone, right? So you are given the time zone as Asia, and in that you are giving the region as Kolkata. So if you execute the Docker file without this environment, so that Docker file will not execute. It will be stopped at the middle. So you are observed, right, while installing the Apache 2 service in the Ubuntu box. Okay, when you are installing the Apache 2, it is asking. So unless you are giving the details, so the next will the Ubuntu, the Apache 2 service will not be proceed. So likewise also, if you want to so stop at the middle, okay, you need to provide the environment detail. That is time zone you need to provide. Time zone you need to provide. So for that, the command. So first we are setting the environment time zone as America, Los Angeles. You can give any name, not only America, Los Angeles. You can give any name. So as per the details. Okay, you can give Asia. Okay, Kolkata. You can give here in place of America. You can give Asia as well as Kolkata. But remember, the name should match. The name should match as it is. Otherwise, it is throwing the error again. Okay, America, Los Angeles. In place of that, you can give Asia, Kolkata. Now, run. So this is a very, very important command. Okay, run. So run is the command. Okay, is a parameter that is used to execute the commands. That is used to execute the commands. Okay, you can give the time zone. Okay, this is all this is about the time zone. That means you are specifying the time zone. You are giving the time zone in this particular path. Okay, and the local time you are giving in the /etc local time. Okay, so up to this part, this is the this one time zone only. Okay, so for this, if you want to see the time zone, so you can just search in the Google, you can get the time zone. So how to give the time zone Docker file. So here you can see that. Here you can check the time zone. So here likewise you can give. See here. So the same command I have used here for setting the time zone. Okay, same command I have used here for setting the time zone. If you want to change the name, that is change the region, you can change here. Okay, so this is up to this part is setting the time zone. And after that, so double ampersand means, so you need to execute 3 commands here. So instead of execute, okay, double ampersand means, so this command will work. And after that, apt update. That means the repo will be updated. And after that, apt install Apache 2 -y. So Apache 2 will be installed. So instead of giving in a single, so you can also give like run. Okay, you can also give like this: run apt update -y. Again, you can use one more run. Okay, apt install Apache 2 -y. But it is very odd to see the repetitive commands like run for every time. That's why what we are doing, just we are giving all the executable commands in a single line like this. Okay, so this run is the command which is very, very important. So this single run will execute all the commands followed by you are given. Okay, next copy. Copy. So this is a command copy. You know the meaning of copy. So copy means what it do? So it will copy the HTML file in the present location. That means where you are executing this Docker file in that particular location. So this hi.html file should be available. Okay, so this hi.html you are deploying into this where www HTML file. And next you are exposing the service port as 80. Okay, you are exposing the service port as 80. And this is a command. Okay, so this is a CMD, nothing but command. So what is the command you are executing? Apache CTL -d foreground. So what is the important of this command is, so already you have seen in the local Windows machine as well as in the Linux machine. So what is the drawback? If you want to work the application in different port, again you need to move into the port and you need to start the service, right, for each and every time. Okay, you need to move it into the container and you need to start the service. The service is not running by default. You need to move into the container and you need to start the service. So to avoid that, so I just given the command Apache CTL -d foreground. That means this command will make the Apache 2 service running forever. Okay, so the command, it will run the Apache 2 service on the foreground forever. So likewise, we can prepare the simple Docker file. So here run CMD, both will do the same functionalities. Okay, both run CMD, both will perform the same functionalities. Understood? Any doubts here in the Docker file, how we are creating? Any doubts in this particular file? So in the interviews also they're asking how you are preparing the Docker file. It's a must and should question in the interviews they're asking. How you prepare the Docker files. So what are the steps you are taking while preparing the Docker file? So this is a very, very important question. You need to answer. Any doubts here? If you no doubts, say no. I'll continue. Hello?
Sir, continue.
Okay. So here, one more thing. In place of copy, so we can also use one more command called add. In place of copy, we can also use the command add. Copy and add both will do the same functionality. But we have a small difference between the copy and add. Okay. So we have a small difference between the copy and add. So copy, it will move the these only static files, HTML files like this. Whereas add is the command, it will also move the zip files, okay, archive files, everything it will move. Okay, that is a important difference between copy and add. That is also important interview question. Okay. So next, so let us execute this command. So this is a Docker file. So for this, first I'm executing in the local Windows. Okay, in the Windows I'm executing. So the Docker file is currently on the desktop. Okay, so you can directly give the file with a text format, or you can remove the text format. That is also fine. Okay, you can keep the text file, or you can also remove the text format, txt file, or you can remove the txt format. So now, currently I'm just clearing the screen. Currently I'm in my user. I'm just moving into the desktop. Here I can see the list of files. Okay, here I can see the list of my files. So Docker file, so like this. Now I want to execute this file. Okay, so here how to execute the Docker file? Yesterday I have given the command. So Docker build is the command used to execute the Docker files. So Docker file is the Docker build is the command used to execute the Docker file. For example, if you are here, one difference you need to observe here. For example, you added some Docker file. Okay, you added some script to the Docker file. and the name of the Docker file is, if it is Docker file. Okay, if the name of the file is Docker file, then you can simply work with the command. Okay, you can simply work with the command docker build -t. So this is the image name. Okay, this is the image name. You can give any name. This is the image name. So less than symbol and the Docker file. If you are giving the name of the file as a Docker file, so this command you can simply give, it will work. If you are giving the file name as other than Docker file, say it is a small d, that is also will not work. With the same command will not work. Okay, or you can take any other name. So say Apache file. So let us take the name of the file is Apache file .txt. For example, you are given the name. So then we can also work with this type of files also. For that, the command will be, so docker build -t. Here in place of less than, you can give -f. -f, the file name. So what is the file name? It is Apache file .txt. So in this way, you can work with the docker build command. If the name of the file is docker file, simply you can give this command. If the name of the file is different other than the docker file, so you need to use this command. Okay, so let us do one thing. I'll execute. I'm taking copying this file. I'm creating one more file, docker file. Okay, I'm just saving here, and I'm removing the txt. Oh, okay. Now Docker file is available, but make sure here, I already told you in this Docker script, you need to make sure hi.html should be available here. So see here, I have hi.html is available here. So let us take what is the content of hi.html. So here I will add some more script, HTML. Okay, so body bg color is equal to, say, violet. Okay, here you can add this text. Okay, here just close the body and close the HTML tag. Right, now let us try to execute this Docker file. Now currently I'm in the desktop folder. Now how we can execute? The same way we are executing the Linux machine also. Okay, the command is docker build, okay, -t is the command. So what is the name of the image you want to choose? Okay, so I want to choose the name of the image as hi image. It is hi image, say 1.0, with the version as 1.0. If not given 1.0, it will take the version as latest. Okay, if you specify the version as 1.0, it will take the 1.0. If you're not specifying the version as 1.0, it will take the latest version. The name of the version is latest. Okay, followed by, so where is the Docker file is? It is in the present working directory, right? Okay, in the desktop only I have the Docker file. Therefore, dot is representing the present working directory. So less than. Okay, so Docker file. Now just click on enter. This will create, okay, the new image with the name hi image colon 1.0. So no need to do all the stuff. See, it is executing what it is doing. The first step is done. So pulling the image, and after that it is taking the time zone, setting the time zone. and after that it will do the updating. So it is updating the repo. So after updating the repo, it will install the package Apache 2. What happened? Let's see. Once again. So updation is completed. So 0 upgraded. So 57 newly installed. So upgradation is done. Now next task it will perform. Apache 2 install. It is performing. So depends on the time zone, it will take the time because the packages are available with respect to the time zone. So Apache 2 is going to be installed now. Next. So done. So here second step is completed. If you observe here, third step, so copy of HTML to this path. So exporting to image, that is also done. So writing the image. So this is the image name. So this is the image name. So what is the name of the image? So it is hi image colon 1.0. So in this way, you can see what is the process which is running in the background. So if you want to run the same thing, you need to work a lot of stuff, right? You need to move into the container, you need to update the repo, you need to do installation. So a lot of stuff will be time taking. So because of that, we are using the Docker file. Now if you see the Docker images, see here, hi image. It is available with version with the tag 1.0. This is the image. Okay, now if you want to run the service, if you want to run the applications, currently the application is available in the hi image. Now I want to move log in into this container and I want to start the service and I want to uh, uh, access the application. So for that the command is docker build. Sorry, docker run. So docker run -itd. So I don't want to log in into the container again because previously I need to log into the container to start the service. But here, no need to log into the container because the service is already running. Okay. So therefore, here -itd, you can give the port -p followed by, you can give that any names, 11,000 I'm giving the port. Okay. So :8. So what is the image name here? Hi image. So 1.0. Now the container is created now. Okay, so now if you access the application with the 11,000 ID, so localhost colon 10,000. See, Apache 2 is running. And if you try to access the application, hi.html, yeah, what's the name of the image? It is hi.html only, right? Hi.html only have given. Okay, let us try to log in into the container. Why it is not running? Sorry, it is 11,000, right? The port number. See, what is the port number you are given here? 11,000, right? So nobody are telling. So all are silent. I don't know why. If you are active, then only I will be double active. If you are silent, okay, I'm just speaking to myself only. Okay, so here now I'm able to access the application, right? Okay, so in this way we can work with the Docker file. Okay, understood? Any doubts in the Docker file? Now I will do some more changes here. Okay, here I'll do some more changes. Here I'm change the color to say purple. I'm changing because somehow the colors also not available. So take the red color better. So I have taken the red color. Now with that red color, so I'm just deleting this one. We have already seen with the name Docker file. Okay, or you can also keep it's not a problem. Okay, you can also keep this one no problem. Undo delete. Yeah. Now I want to work with this Apache 2 underscore 1. The file name is not Docker file. The name is different. The same content. There is no difference. The same content will be there. Here I want to work with the content. So for that, the command is so Docker build is the command. So -t give the image name. So hi image. So I'm giving the same image, the different version. Hi image 2.0. I'm giving. Okay. So and followed by okay -t image name. So followed by the Docker file you need to pass, right? So the file is available in the present working directory -f. Okay, what is the name of the file? It is just give the name of the file. Docker file underscore Apache 2 underscore 1. You can give any name, it's not a problem. So now this time it is very quick because for the first time it is taking all the details, right? That's why it is taking long time. So, but for the second time, all the details are available. So the time zone details and Apache everything are available. That's why it is taking a less time. Okay. So now if you see the images, so Docker images. So the high image is available with the version 2.0. Okay. Now I want to run the service. Okay. I want to run the application with a different port. Okay. -itd -p. So let us take the port as 12,080, the container port. Next, followed by the image name. So hi image colon 80. Oh, sorry, it's not 80. It is 2.0. Now container is created. Now try to access the application with 12,000. See, I have given the red color. So it is red color. So these are two examples how to work with the name Docker file and with the name is other than Docker file. Understood? Understood how to work with the Docker file? Any doubts? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. So if this concept is done, so I'll move into the next one. Okay. So, but however, we'll work with the Docker file again. Now. So next, mappings. Next topic in Docker is mappings. So we can do 3 types of mappings. Okay, in the Docker. So one is mapping of ports with Docker node. Docker node means Docker machine. Docker node. What is the meaning of Docker node? Docker node means if you are working, if you are installing the Docker in the Windows machine, then that Windows machine is called as Docker node. If you are install the Docker in the Linux machine, then that Linux machine will be the Docker node. If you install the this Linux Docker in the Ubuntu machine, then the Ubuntu machine will called as Docker node. Okay, so mapping of the ports with the Docker node. So next, mapping of ports. Sorry, mapping of volumes with the Docker node. And third one, mapping of network. So there are 3 types of mappings. Network with Docker. We'll see one by one. So first one, mapping.
Sir?
Yes.
Actually, I have passed the different IPs for the 2 files, no, sir. With the same IP also we can work. That 11,000 and 12,000 you have passed different, no?
Where? Yeah. In the 2 ways it is working. It is given
Um,
12,000, right?
Yeah. If you pass same IP also, it will throw any error or it will work. So,
It is working.
okay.
You can run the same application in n number of ports.
Okay.
Okay, you are just changing the port here. So
Yes, sir.
generally, for every port, only one service is running. Okay, but here what you are doing, you are running single service in multiple ports.
Okay, sir.
Yes. So, but ensure that so this image, this container should be alive. Okay, if you kill the container which is having the port 11,000, so I'll show that part. If you see the Docker PS, it will show the list of containers. So see here, these are the list of containers you are available. So the base image is a base image Ubuntu container, and after that you are done welcome 1.0. So which is running on the port 10,011. Okay, high.image that is running on the 11,000, and one more high image 2.0 that is running on the 12,000
12,000.
port. So if containers are running, then only you are able to access the application. Okay, if you kill any one of the container, you are not able to access the application. For example, here the local host 10,011. Let us take what is the application there. Local host. So 10,011. I think here we have the welcome.html application is there. See here, this application is there. So if you kill the container, then you are not able to access the application. So how to kill the container? First, you need to stop the container. So stop, Docker stop. So given the container ID, then the container will be stopped. Now, if you see the list of containers, only you are able to see only 3. You are not kill the container. You are just stopped the container. If you want to see the stopped containers, so the command is docker ps-a. So this will show the list of running containers as well as stopped containers. So see here you can see the name exited 19 seconds ago. It means you are stopped this container 19 seconds ago. Okay, there is no, this port is not running currently. Therefore, you are not able to access this application. So this application is not accessible. Again, if you want to access this application, what you need to do? You just start the container. So container is started. Now if you see the again the running containers, so all 4 will be available from 3 seconds. Again, you can start the container. That means you need to log in into the container and start the service, because this is a container we are deployed manually. Apache 2 service deployed manually, so you need to log into the container and start the Apache 2 service. Then only it will work. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now coming to the mappings, we have 3 types of mappings. So mapping of ports, mapping of volumes, and mapping of networks. So what is the mapping of ports? So this part already we have done previously. So what is the mapping of port? So this is the mapping of port. Already we have done the examples. So if you are running a container under a specific port, so the command is docker run, right? So docker run -itd, so -p. You are specifying the port like 10,000:80. So followed by the image name. Say hi image :1.0. So this is called as port mapping. That means you are mapping the port. So this is the target port and this is the service port. This is called as mapping of ports. So we can also pass, we have different ways in port mappings. Okay, so you can also pass multiple ports. If you want to work with the same service with multiple ports, you can here pass. So let us take 10,001:80. So -p. So 10,002:80 -p 10,003:80. So likewise, you can pass a number of ports. That means then the application will work in all these ports, 10,001, 2, 3. In all these ports, the same application will work. Okay, instead of repeating the same command, you can also pass the list of ports on which the service you want to work. Simply, you can execute this command. And one more. So docker run -itd. So here we have -P. -P. So when you give the -P, so till now you're giving the small p, small p. Whenever you give the -P, so this will randomly assign the IP. No need to assign IP like this. Okay, these are the custom IPs, right? You are specifying the IPs. But whenever you given the -P, so followed by the image name, okay, so then this command will automatically assign the port. And where we can check the port? Can anybody tell me where we can check the port, on which port the service is running? What is the command? Just now I told you. Okay, with the command docker ps. Docker ps. Then if you see the containers, then you can see the number of ports which are running, the service running on which number of ports. Okay, now let us try to execute these things. So here, Docker images. First, I'm taking the Docker images because so I want to run the hi image 2.0 in multiple ports. For that, the command is docker run -itd -p. So already it is running at the 12,000, right? I'm giving 13,000:80 -p 13,500 or 13,250. You can give any number, it's not a problem. So -p 13,500:80. Hi image :2.0. This image I want to run in multiple ports. Just click on enter. Yes, now the container is created with multiple ports. Now just check the container docker ps. Now see, a new container is created. So docker hi image 2.0. This container is started 6 seconds ago. It is up from 5 seconds. So it is available on the ports 13,000, 13,250, 13,500. Now if you test the service, okay, here 13,000 followed by hi.html is available and followed by 13,250. Now similarly 13,500. So in all these services, this in all these ports, the service is available. Okay, so this is the first one. And one more, so Docker run hyphen capital hyphen ITD hyphen capital P. Okay, followed by the image name colon 2.0. Now this will assign a custom a random port. Okay, so for that, just to see the port, Docker PS. So see here, it is available under the 55,000 port. It is available under 55,000 port. So the same service, it is available under 55,000. See, the same service is available under 55,000 port. Understood? So this is we work with the mapping of ports. A single port, a multiple ports. Okay, these are the custom ports. So these are random port assignment. Right? That is about mapping of ports. Next one, mapping of volumes. So mapping of volumes means, so what is the meaning of this? So generally, if you want to deploy a HTML application, what you are doing, if you are doing the manually, okay, if you want to do manually, so just you are install the Apache 2 service and then you are moving into the /var/www/html folder, and there you are creating the file, or you have created some file at any place, just moving the HTML file into the particular HTML folder is called as deployment. But with the so if you want to add one more image, so again you need to move into the container and again you need to do the deployment. Or if you're using a Docker file, okay, you can also work with a Docker file. In the Docker file, if you observe what we did in the Docker file, you are given one line, copy. So what this command it will do, it will copy the HTML file into this particular location. So with the help of volumes, okay, with the help of mapping of volumes, you can deploy n number of applications along with the command. No need to give in the copy, in the command, in the Docker file. No need to give in the Docker file. So simply you need to pass along with the command. Okay, you can pass along with the command. So the command for volume mapping is, so Docker run -itd -p, the port mapping you should pass. So let us take the same port 10,000:80. After that, you need to give -v. -v means volume. Volume means what? How you are doing the volumes? So first on the on any place you can create a folder with the name volume. Okay, okay, you can create a folder with the name volume. In this particular folder volume, so just place the HTML files you want to deploy. Okay, in the particular folder, so place the HTML files. How many number of files you want you can deploy? So there you can place all the HTML files in the particular folder volume. Now give the path of the volume file, volume folder. Okay, here give the path of volume folder. Okay, so after that the image name. A simple, very simple command here it is. The only extra parameter that is added here, you can pass this argument -v followed by the volume path. For example, so here you can also work in two ways. One is by the manual method, that is what we did for welcome.html, but you need to log in into the container again, you need to start the service. So I'm testing with the Docker file. So here I'm deleting this file. I'm deleting this line. So for that, I have created one more Docker file. So this is a Docker file. So here, so not this one. See here I don't have any copy command. The same commands will there, but except the copy command. Okay, except the copy command, it is there. So now in the Docker file too, here what is there? Here I have given copy volume folder. I have given the volume folder. So in the two ways we can deploy the services. In two ways, one is giving the volume folder, okay, in the Docker file, or without giving the volume folder in the Docker file. Okay, if you give the volume folder here, so no need to pass along with the command. No need to pass along with the command. But you are not mentioned in the Docker file, you need to pass along with the command. So that's why I'm taking this file Apache 2_3 here. I did not given the copy file. So here for that, the command is docker run. Okay, the command is docker build. First I want to build the image, right? So here first I need to build the image. After building the image only, this all things you need to do after building the image. Okay, for this I'm creating a special for that. Before that, so we have on, okay, here I'm deleting these three stuff. These are var files. I'm deleting these things. I'm copying these two files. I want to deploy these two HTML file and hi.html. So let us see the content. Of course, so here the color is pink. So I'm changing the color to say yellow. And here I'm changing the color to say black. Now I want to deploy these two applications. Okay, I have created a volume folder on the desktop and I have placed the two files, two HTML files. Okay, now I'm executing that Docker file 3. So this file, because this file does not have the copy command. So therefore, first I need to build the image. Okay, first you need to build the image. So what is the command to build the image? So docker build. Docker build, okay, -t, the image name. Here you need to pass, okay, followed by dot given by the -f docker file name. Docker file name you need to give. So the same command here I'm executing. Docker build -t. Okay, what is the image name I want to give? Let us take two apps, because I'm deploying two applications, right? So any name you can give. Two apps colon 1.0. Okay, two apps colon 1.0 followed by dot -f. So what is the file name? So you need to pass the same file name exactly what will be there. So here there is a file name. I'm giving the same file name. Click on the enter. Now a new image will be created with the two apps. Just check the images. See here, two apps with the version 1.0 that will be created. Okay, so now here, now I want to move into the container, because this is only, it is having only only Apache 2 container. Only Apache 2 tool will be installed here. There is no other one. There are no deployments. So that's why I want to pass the deployments here. So docker run -itd -p. So let us take the port as 14,000:80 -v. So now what is the path of the volume folder? I need to give the path of volume folder. So this is the path of volume folder. This is the complete path of volume folder. So just give the path of volume folder. So just take this. And so this volume folder, where you want to deploy. where you want to place. So I want to place /var/www/html. So like this, you are passing the volume argument. So give the name as 2apps. 2apps colon 1.0. So this is the command you need to work. So here the same command, give the path of volume folder colon /var/www. Now click on enter. See, the container is created. Now if you want to see the running container, so docker ps. So 6 seconds ago a container is created that is running on the port 14,000. So just check the application on 14,000. I'm closing all these. So what are the two services I have deployed? One is hide.html. See, it is a black I have given. That's why it is showing the black. And one more course.html. See, I have given the yellow color. That's why it is showing yellow. Understood? So this is called volume mapping. Okay, we can pass the volumes, that is the deployment along with the command instead of giving in the Docker file. So this is very, very handy. Okay, so here if you want to deploy any service, okay, if you for example you have created one more application, okay, so you have one more HTML file. So just create the HTML file here. So let us take, I'm creating welcome.html. Okay, so here I want to create some text. Hi, hello. I'm just giving the text, a simple text. Okay, and if you want to do the deployment of this one, so no need to log into the container, no need to move into the folder /var/www.html, and no need to do the deployments. Simply copy this file. Okay, simply move this file into the volume folder and just redeploy. That's it. Okay, just to do the redeployment. So then the application will work. So just check that. So build the new image. So build the same command. I'm giving the 2.0. Okay, or no need to do that. Just apply the this command on the different port. Say 14,100. See, one more container will be created. Now let us try to access the application with welcome.html. See, hi, hello. It's very simple. So no need to log into the container. Simply in our local, we can do the deployments. Whatever the file you can create and just move into the volume folder, the deployment is done. Right? So in this way, we can work with the mapping of volumes. So any doubts here in the volume mappings? Any doubts? No doubts? Hello?
Sir, no doubts. Continue, sir.
Okay. Next one, third one, mapping of networks with the Docker node. So generally, so Docker node is working with three types of networks. Okay, there are three types of networks available in the Docker node. Three types of networks. One is bridge, next one host, and third one none. So the network is nothing but what is the use of network? It is to establish the communication, right? Okay, it is to establish the communication. So the default is bridge one. Okay, so out of three, so default is bridge network. So by default, bridge network is enabled. Okay, so bridge network means it is enabled the communication between the Docker node and container. Okay, bridge network, nothing but it will establish the communication between Docker node and container. Okay, so a host network also same thing. It is also establish the communication only between Docker node and container. Same functionality, but here host means we have only one network, only one user, one IP. Okay, so none means so no network is selected, no communication. None means no communication is selected. So how do you check the default communication? Okay, how to check the default communication? So by using a command called inspect. Okay, by using a command called inspect, we are checking the type of network. Okay, so we can also, okay, so Docker inspect, okay, network. So followed by the network name. So you can give the bridge network, or you can give the host network, or you can give the none. Okay, so it will give the complete information about the inspect of the network. Let us try. So Docker inspect network. Click on enter. It is so there is no subject object network. So you need to give the bridge. See, it is giving the complete information about the bridge network. See, name of the network is bridge network. Okay, it is what is the IPs. Okay, it is giving the complete information about the what are the list of containers which are available in the bridge network. So all these are the containers now created on. Okay. Now similarly, if you do inspect network host, so it is giving the information about host. Currently, there are no host related networks. So here the name is host. And next, you give none. So it is about none network. That is also not available because currently we are using bridge network only. Default is bridge only. Okay. So this is about bridge net mapping of networks. Mapping of networks. So Docker inspect network, you can use any one of the network name. So next, few more commands with Docker. So that is so Docker system prune. So before that, so if you want to delete the network, okay, if you want to delete the network or if you want to delete the resources, so we have some commands for that. So Docker network pruning. So this will delete the network. This command will delete the network. Remove all the network. Delete all the networks. It will delete all the networks. So next Docker network, sorry, next volume. So volume pruning. So this will delete all the volumes. So what are the volumes which are given? So it will delete all the volumes. Next, Docker system pruning. So this will delete all the stopped containers and dangling images, and something it will be removed. So I'll show that part. Okay, for example, here, let us check. So Docker ps-a. So currently all the images are running. So I want to stop some containers. Okay, so Docker stop. I want to stop some containers. So let us take okay, let's take the old one. So welcome.html. I am stopping this. You can pass along with multiple container IDs. So I want to pass this one also, and I want to pass this one also. 3, I'm stopping. Yeah, 3 are stopped. Now check the status again. Now see, these 3 are exited, means stopped under 5 seconds and 15 seconds like this. Now I'm just executing the command docker system prune. System prune. So it will delete all the unused networks and all the unused networks, unused volumes, and unused containers, everything. It is asking the message. So see here, warning. This will remove all stopped containers, all networks not used by at least one container, all dangling images, all dangling build cache. So it will delete all the stuff. If you give Y. So see here, it is also giving the information. So deleted containers. So 3 containers it is going to be deleted. So you can also check the numbers 054E58. So this is stopped. So this is deleted. 3F525. So next one 7B253. So 7B253. So these 3 are stopped. Therefore, these 3 will be deleted. And cache. So for these 3 images, we have cache memory will be there, that will be deleted. So this is a reclaimed space. How much space is saved after deleting the system prune, right? So like this, we can work with the Docker. That's it. This is about the Docker. And I want to show one more thing. If you have any doubts here up to this part, if you have no doubts, I want to explain one more example. Any doubts here? No doubts? Right?
No.
Okay. The same thing you can also work in the Linux machine also. There is no difference. There is no difference between the Windows machine and Linux machine. I already told you. Okay. Same thing you can work here also. Okay. I'll explain this part in the Linux machine for understanding purpose clearly. I'll tell you this example in the Linux machine. Okay. So till now we worked with the only this Apache 2, right? Now we will do some little high level, that is Tomcat. How to work with the Tomcat. So for that, so this is the same code how we are working with the Docker file for this Tomcat. So if you observe this one, the Tomcat. So here we are taking the Tomcat from this available version is there. Okay, so for Tomcat, the available list is there. So let us take so Docker search Tomcat. We click on the enter, so it will give the list of images which are with respect to Tomcat. So see, all these are custom images. All these are custom images which are created by some other persons. Okay, so which is highly starred, you can take that image. So here I'm taking the Tomcat. So this is having the 3186 stars. Therefore, I can take this. Okay, for that, so Docker pull. Okay, this Tomcat. So you can do work with this, but again you need to move into the container. Again you need to start the service, so everything will be there. So instead of repeating all the tasks, so I'm using the Docker file. Okay, I'm using the Docker file. So how you know the process of creating Tomcat, right? Okay, how we are creating the Tomcat, how you are doing deployment. So Tomcat prerequisite is Java. So you need to install the Java. After installing of Java, so what you're doing, you need to getting the service wget. You need to take the wget, that is you need to download the Tomcat package from the internet, and then you need to extract the package, okay, the tar file, your tar command you are using, and you need to move it to the bin folder, and you need to start the Tomcat service, and you need to do deployment in the web apps folder. So for to do the deployment, you must have the course.var files. Okay, that means var file should be available with you. So currently, I don't have any var files here. So for that, I'm just taking the var files from my local. Okay. So here I'm taking the var files from local. For that, I'm using the WinSCP. EC2-user. So for this, I'm taking the, I think on the desktop only I have these files. Yeah, course.var and prep.var. So two files are there. I'm taking these two files. Now, if you check here, so two files will be available here. Course.var, proc2.proc1.var. Now, I want to use a Docker file. So the same file, if you see the Docker file. So instead of taking the image from Ubuntu box, okay, I'm taking the direct image of Tomcat. So till now you have used the image of Ubuntu, right? Okay, so that is also fine. But what is the problem with that method? Can anybody tell me? Okay, you can also work by taking the Ubuntu image. You can take the Ubuntu image and you can do and you can get the package from internet, and you can do untar and you can start the service, you can do the deployment. But here I'm taking the direct image of Tomcat. But what is the difference between that process and this process? Anybody tell me? Any idea? No idea? Say yes or no.
No, sir.
See here the difference between that procedure and this procedure is the main the difference is in the size issue. The image size will be drastically increased with that process because Ubuntu has its own image size. It is approximately 73 MB. It will take, and apart from that, it will take the another size of installation purpose, Java, everything. It will take around. It will come around 200 MB, 400 MB like this. Whereas if you take the by default Tomcat image, okay, so see, you can see the size of Tomcat also here. Okay, I think here the size is not available. Okay, so once after doing the images, you can get the size. Okay, you can get the size. So Tomcat 8. So it is having very less amount of size when compared to when you do the deployment with this process, you will get a very less amount of size. And after that, you can give the label maintainer. Okay, you can also write maintainer directly, or you can give maintainer label like this also, you can mention, no problem. But this is very important. And next, add. I already told you, so you can use copy or add. Anything it is fine. So copy also will work. So copy, what you are doing, course.var. So you are moving this course.var package into, so by default in this image, okay, this image, so the Tomcat is available under this folder. The Tomcat is available under this folder, user local Tomcat. Therefore, you should not change this process. Okay, you should keep this path as it is. Okay, the path of Tomcat in the Tomcat 80 Alpine image. So remember this name, very, very important. Alpine images are the images which are having very, very small amount of size. Okay, very, very small amount of size. So for each and every tool, for each and every application, we have the Alpine images will be there. So if you want to install Java, so for that also you have Alpine image will be there. If you want to install Maven, for that also Alpine image will be there. If you want to install Jenkins, for that also Alpine images will be there. So these are the customized images which are occupy very small amount of size. Okay, so in this image, so since it is already customized, in that image, the path of Tomcat will be in this path. That's why you should not change the path. If you change the path, so the deployment will not work. Understood? So this is very important. And expose. You know that Tomcat is working on the port 8080. Therefore, you should expose the Tomcat port as 8080. And you need to use the command, so Catalina sh, right? You know the Catalina sh, it is nothing but starting of Tomcat, comma run. It should always run. Okay, it should always run. So these are simple command used to start the Tomcat as well as for deployment. Understood? So just I'm copying this content, I'm taking here. So here I'm writing sudo vi docker file, saving this. Now I want to execute the command docker build. So if you check the images currently, what are the images available? So currently only one image, Ubuntu image available, which is having size of 75.2 MB. Let us check how much size will be there after the executing of this Alpine image Tomcat. So the command is some network issue. So see here, Docker file is available and the two var files are available also here. Okay, so now I'm executing the command. So docker build, okay, -it, okay, -t. So what is the image name? So let us take the image name as course :1.0 and it is in the current path and less than symbol. So give the name of Docker file. Click on enter. So it is pulling the image from that repository. So executing one by one. So label, it is done. Copying, so copying is done. Exposing the port is done. So command is executed. So successfully tagged. So you need to get this message at the end of. At the end, you need to get this message: successfully tagged localhost course :1.0. Now this is the image ID. Now if you check the images, so Docker images, see, this is the Tomcat image. It is of 152 MB. So course image, it is having 152 MB. If you use the same Ubuntu machine, it will go around 300 MB. By installing the Tomcat and installing the course application, it will take around 300 MB. But with existing Tomcat Alpine, it is taking only 152 MB. So see here, the size of Tomcat image is 152 MB and the size of course application is also 152 MB. There is no change, much change. Okay, now the image is available. Now I want to run the container. So docker run -itd. Okay, I want to expose the port to say 20,000. So here, very important, you need to give the port as 8080. Okay, here you need to give the port as 8080. So and the image name is course :1.0. So now here the Docker container is created. Let us check the containers. Docker ps. Now 6 seconds ago. So this is the container created which is running on the port 20,000. So you need to open the port 20,000 in the security groups. Edit. Here already 10,000 I have given, so I'm changing to 20,000. Save the rule. So let us try to access the application. Colon 20,000. See, Tomcat is accessing on the port 20,000. Let us try to access our application ports. See, the ports application is available. Right? So in this way, we can work with the Apache Tomcat also. Right? So same thing. Here you can also work with the in case of copy, you can also use the volume folder also. You can also do volume mapping. You can also do the volume mapping also here. So simply here, create the mkdir, okay, sudo mkdir volume. Okay, so here the files which are, so just sudo move course.var and product.var. I'm moving into the two files into the volume folder. Now if you move into the, if you do ll, so those two files are not available here. Okay, so those are in the volume folder. Okay, now come out of this one. I want to write one more Docker file. So here I want to pass along with the command. So here I'm deleting this copy. Just deleting the copy line and just save this. Now I want to do the volume mapping. So for that, the command is docker build, the same command. Okay, so docker build, okay, docker run you can use. So docker run, here you can change the port, say 30,000. Okay, here you need to pass the volume and the path. So this will be under home. Next, EC2-user. Under this volume is a folder, and I want to deploy the contents of the volume folder into the path /user /local /tomcat and /web apps. So this is a folder I want to deploy, followed by the image. Now let us check. So it is done. So let us check the container. Now the container, it is running under the port 30,000. Okay, 5 seconds ago. Now let us try to access the two applications. So 30,000. This is not perfect here. Okay. Here the problem is, so why it is not worked means, whenever you are doing the volume mapping, okay, the contents of volume will be replaced. Okay, that means here, whatever the content of web apps, so the all the content of web apps will be removed. Okay, all the contents of web apps will be removed. So in the web apps, you can see multiple containers, multiple files will be there. So manager, host. So likewise, you can see n number of information in the web apps folder. But whenever you do the volume mapping, so what happened? So in the web apps folder, only these two files are available. So volume mapping is not worked here. That's why Tomcat also is not up. Tomcat also is not up. Let us check whether, and also one more thing, you need to change the port. Maybe let us check this one, whether it is working or not. See here, it is not working because the error is different. So see, it is 404 error because it is not able to access the application because there is no the files, the background files which are not there in that web apps folder. That's why it is not able to run. Now for that, okay, what we can do, how we can do the mapping. Okay, how we can do the mapping. So for that, if you want to do the mapping, you can do in two ways. Okay, first you can do it manually. Manually means you move these volume files in some other folder. That means manually means you know that the process, right? Manual process means, what's the meaning of manual process? That means taking the Ubuntu image. Okay, so the manual process means taking the Ubuntu image. Okay, next install, do update repo. Next install wget and everything. Okay, wget vim, you need to install everything, and after that, so you need to get the Tomcat package from the net. Okay, you need to extar, that is, you need to use the tar command -xzf, and you need to move it to the Tomcat folder, bin folder, and you need to start the service, and again you need to move it to the Tomcat web apps folder into the deployment. Okay, so if you want to do the volume mapping, so don't directly deploy into the web apps folder. Instead of deploying the web apps folder, you can first move the that volume into some other folder, say cd/home/ubuntu. So now the files are available under the folder Ubuntu. Now by logging into the container, just use the command cp. So just copy the var files into the particular folder, that is web apps. So that is a manual thing. So but volume mapping is not worked here. Okay, volume command is not worked here. Okay, so that is worked for Apache 2. Okay, if you try for Apache 2, the same thing, that means slash like this /home/ec2 -user /volume. So if you can copy this to /var/www/html. For this it is working because HTML folder is empty folder. HTML is an empty folder. There are no executable and dependency files which are there, not there. That's why whatever the content of volume, that will be overwritten here. But here in web apps folder, it is not like that. So this web apps folder will contain the dependency files also there. That's why it will be overwritten. That's why it is not working. Okay, if you want to pass, okay, just give the names. You can specify the names. Already we have done right previously. Okay, you can use the Docker file. So here you can use this command. This will work. This will work. In place of giving the along with the command, so here this will work. Sudo vi docker file. So here this will work. Okay. Now what you did here, just added the, that means add means copy, that is also will do. That means .volume folder, it will be copied into this folder. This is come with along with the Docker file. If you execute along with the command, it won't work. Now let us try to execute this Docker file. Sudo docker build -t. Let us take the two apps as 1.0. It is there here. I think it is not there. Okay, two apps 1.0. Okay, the Docker file is currently available. So Docker file. So see here, now it is executed. So successfully tagged. Issue, and at the end you need to get this message. Now let us check the images. So now here you can see the two apps image with the tag 1.0. So 12 seconds it is started. is having 152 MB. Now let us try to access this container. So docker run -itd -p. Okay, you can take any port 40,000. Let us take 8080 is a container port. Okay, next followed by the image 2 apps :1.0. Now let us try to access this. But 40,000 should be open here. Now let us try to access this. See, it is applicable. It is accessible. The volume is along with the command. It is not working, but it is working with the Docker file. So product 1. See, this is Docker class. So in this way, we can also work with the Tomcat using Docker. Understand? Any doubts here? You can also integrate the Docker with Jenkins. That is also there, but that will be too heavy. But you can practice. Okay, if you have time, you can practice that. Understood? Any doubts here? So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. So otherwise, I'll close the session. So this is the end of the Docker class. So Docker is over. So tomorrow onwards, I'll start the Kubernetes. Any doubts here?
No, sir.
Okay.